If you can just let your mind run free, but you focus not on the mind, but you just focus on focusing itself. You concentrate on being concentrated. You will find that peaceful center in the midst of the wheel spinning. And in that peaceful center, even if you can still feel your body and your mind are kind of spinning, but if you can focus on that focused state, you will find that silent center. And through that silent center, you will get, at least after a little while, adjusting to that, you will receive new guidance naturally. You will be realigned with your higher self. You will come back into contact with the bigger perspective. Your fear will start to dissolve, so forth. And it will be replaced by this state of focus, which now starts to kind of expand. You no longer have to like be eye of the needle focused because everything around you is a shitstorm. The more you focus on the eye of the needle or the eye of the storm, the kind of the wider that eye becomes. And the more over time, now you got to stay there because if you jump out too quickly, boom, the storm is going to close back in on you because there's still momentum. So you kind of have to stay in the eye of the storm and follow it around or let it follow you around until the storm, the hurricane dissipates. But you will find in that intermediary process that as the storm of your reflective states, they're kind of almost like pushed away. They're almost like dissipated, like clouds or the condensation on the grass in the morning, the dew that's just being evaporated by the sun. It's kind of that feeling. If you just stay focused long enough for even 5% of the time, but more and more, then it's like this eye of the center, this silence, this centeredness, this sense of power, consciousness itself, knowing itself, begins to expand. And you can kind of like relax a little bit. Now it becomes simultaneously easier to maintain that focus, but it also, there's less need to maintain the focus in a concentrated way. You can now kind of relax without losing that sense of centeredness. That's the storm, the eye of the needle kind of, or the eye of the storm kind of expanding. And ultimately the storm will dissipate. And all there is, again, that empty space of your naked state of awareness. So that would be one main approach. When shit hits the fan, you don't know what to do. So don't see this as a technique. See this as like a core foundational attitude. It's basically the same as surrender. It's a way of surrendering because you have nothing else to reach into. The moment you reach a hand out into the storm, it gets shredded. So the only safe space that you have in that moment is the eye of the storm. It's just boom, back to presence. Boom, back to presence. Boom. It's not a technique. It's an attitude. It's using yourself. It's being aware. You see, it's not really a technique or method. It's you simply being aware, like focused, harnessing your will instead of letting it get destroyed in whatever is happening. All right, taking a break from that. Take a deep breath. And we're going to apply that right now for a minute. Just take a deep breath again and relax your body, relax your mind. And all you do is simply focus, that's all. Just bring your consciousness back. If you want to choose a point in your body, you can to start with. It might make it more tangible and easier. Ultimately, focus doesn't have a location. Consciousness doesn't have a location, but it doesn't matter too much. You can pick a location. You can pick the third eye, or you can pick the heart, or just the central column, the central alignment that kind of aligns with your nervous system. But a sense of the eye of the storm, the here and now of your own center. And all you do is just focus. Pretend that if you don't focus, you're going to hurt, you're going to suffer, you're going to cause pain to yourself. So you've got great incentive to just focus. Even if you're not good at concentration, doesn't matter. Just for a moment, just focus. Be aware or imagine even the state of being focused. What would it be like? You can conjure it up through imagination too, you see. What would it be like? What would it feel like? What would it look like if you saw yourself in like a state of the Buddha, like a state of a Buddha statue, just like boom, focused. Feel what that would feel like for a moment, where there's no movement, where all movement, if there is movement, the movement is ignored, and you are simply aware of being focused. That's all. Just aware of being, basically. And it needs a little bit of elevation. You need to elevate your will a little bit to do that. You need to elevate your focus a little bit. You need to conjure up that extra bit of will, that extra bit of desire, that extra bit of power. That's why I say it's a bit more of the masculine. So conjure up that will and create a little gap in your thinking process and just be focused. And the focus itself is silent. Now, stuff might be going on, but the focus itself, the state of focus itself, is like a silence. It's like a no thought. Focus is no thought. Focus itself. Now, you can focus on a thought, but focus itself, being focused, is basically a thought-free window. See if you can tap into this experientially. For those who are able to, and you all are, you just might not think you are, but radically stop thinking all at once. That's another way to quickly train your free will to become more powerful, more unified, more disciplined, more in charge of itself. Is radically, immediately just stop all thinking. See that there's no use for you right now to think about anything. Boom. Dispel all thoughts by focus. Focus on focus. Focus on focus. Focus on focus. Focus only on being focused. Focus only on being focused. Right now, gather all your will. Focus only on being focused. No thoughts, only focus. Be aware of your focus. Be aware of being focused. Be aware of being focused. Be aware of being focused. If you can keep bringing yourself back to that, and again, if your entire environment is in pain, experientially, you have great incentive. Otherwise, you would never do this, right? If it's sunshine and everything is beautiful, you would never like go sit down and be like, okay, no thought, no thought, no thought. You'd be way too busy enjoying yourself, which is great. But so again, this is what you fall back on when shit hits the fan. And it's a core modality. It's not a method. It's a core attitude of honoring the creator, remembering that you are God, that there is no need for thought, that you don't have to go out. You can just, boom, focus. That's the core attitude of gathering your will.